Shalom, 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 Yasharala. This your boy, Brother Samuel, back at you with another quick edifying video. Right, and today's topic is going to be called Riches and Deceit. Right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone from Tahar on down, who have ruled well through the Spirit, and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth. Like I said, today's topic is going to be called Riches and Deceit. And the scriptures talk about, how people will basically, choose riches over salvation, at the end day, and they will chase money rather than to chase righteousness in these last days. And what they don't understand is that the end is destruction, right? So I just want to go over a couple of scriptures and close it out. Hopefully this lesson will be edifying. We'll go ahead and get started, right? So let's start off with the book of Mark, chapter 8, and we'll start at verse number 36. And it says, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Right? So what shall it profit if you've got all the riches, you've got everything that your heart desires, right? But you lose your own soul. It says, or what shall a man give in exchange of his soul, right? And we know that, you see it a lot of times nowadays. You got men who will sell everything, even their dignity for money and riches, right? You always see, people who, they'll compromise themselves for money, So it says, what shall a man give in exchange for his soul, right? And a lot of people now are only out for money, right? Not only men, but women as well. They're only out for money, and when you have that mentality, hey, you're basically headed for destruction, right? So let's get this, right? Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse number 17. And it says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy, right? And a lot of our people, they get caught up in making this money, man, making this what they say, paper, man, right? They get caught up in it, and then they become proud and arrogant because they think they have money now. They can't nobody touch them, they can't do anything, right? And they put their trust, right, in uncertain riches. And we know that this place is uncertain riches, right? We already know that, this thing is about to hit a debt ceiling, right? And we know that the dollar is crashing. We know that all these things, right? But Jake and Eve are putting their trust in these uncertain riches, right? And not in the Most High, Let's get this. Let's go to the book of Sirach, right? Sirach, chapter 31, and verse number 1. It says, watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep, right? So, when you have all this money and all this riches, it takes away your sleep, right? Because that's all you're worried about and all you care about, right? Let's get it in another translation, right? Let's go to the GNT. It says, worrying about money will make you lose weight and lose sleep, right? Because they're so worried about losing, not being a millionaire, whatever it may be, right? They're so consumed about the money and to the point where they're always have to watch around their back because they don't want somebody to you know rob them, whatever it may be, right? But it says worrying about money will make you lose weight and lose sleep, right? Because that's what you put your trust in, right? And you built your foundation on money and not Yahawashi. And now all you do is worry, and lose sleep and lose weight for that, right? And Yahawashi he told us, he gave us an example, right, of the rich man, right? So let's get that real quick. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 19, and see, I'm just going to start at the point. Yeah, verse 21. It says, Yahawashi said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, that thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions, right? He didn't want to let go of his riches and all his great possessions, right? And that's how people are, right? Reading on, it says, verse 23, it says, then said Yahawashi unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? Because they have put their trust and their faith and all their efforts into riches, right? They put all that into riches and money, that they no longer are worried about, righteousness and making it to the kingdom. They get caught up in the cares of this world, right? Let's get this, right? Let's stay in the book of Matthew. Let's go to verse 6 and verse number 24. And it reads, it says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon, right? You have to choose. You have to choose, right? And, we're out here to warn people that you're going to have to choose very soon which one is going to be. Are you going to be chasing money, right? Or are you going to be chasing righteousness, man? Right? The elect are going to be chasing righteousness. They're going to be chasing Yahawashi, right? Righteousness and salvation, right? And then you have the 2/3 who are going to be, only worried about the cares of this world and the riches of this world, But let's get this in a GNT so you can kind of see what it's saying, right? Because you see what mammon is. Actually, we go to the ESV too. It says, no one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and money, right? You have to choose, right? You're not going to be able to do both, You're not going to be able to do both. You have to choose, This is the GNT, right? It says you cannot be a slave of two masters. You will hate the one and love the other. You will be loyal to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both high and money, right? It's impossible. It's impossible. You have to choose, and that's why riches can turn into deceit, and you can deceive your own self, right? Let's get this. Let's go to the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6, and verse number 9. And it reads, it says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition, right? They fall into temptation, right? And that's why I say, soon it's gonna be playing on tables, because you're gonna have the choice of what you want to choose, because they're gonna be ushering in, the C hip, right, which is this one world order, right? Or this, the implement of the CHIP, man, right? Which is the MOTB, you know? And the rich are gonna fall in temptation. Why? Because they're gonna want to keep their money. They're gonna want to have money and security in this world, right? And then they forego the the righteousness of Yahawashi, right? Um, Verse 10, it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows," right? And you can think about what's going to be piercing them, right? But that temptation that they're going to fall into right in these last days, right? We can go right to it. This is Revelation, right? Chapter 13 and verse number 16. And it reads, and it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads," right? So, not only the rich, but we know the rich because they're going to want to hold on to their money, right? But it says both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, right? This is coming, and if you're not on the right side, hey, you're gonna go straight to the left, and you're gonna get, that C hip. You're gonna get that grain of rice implanted in your hand, right? That MOTB, right? It says, in verse 17, it says, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name," right? And so, when you're rich, you're worried, and you're so used to the lavish things in life. You're so used to, getting what you want, right? That when this time comes, you're gonna choose the side of mammon. You're gonna choose the side of money rather than choosing the side of Yahawashi, right? And you're gonna fall into this great temptation, which is gonna be upon the world, right? Upon the whole earth. You're going to be in, and you're going to get sucked in, right? And that's why it's riches and deceit, right? Because now you have, like I said, you put your trust in riches, and now guess what? You've fallen into temptation, and you've ultimately fallen into destruction, right? Let's get this. Let's go to verse number 14. This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. It says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb," right? So what you don't understand is, you take this, and you follow riches, it's going to lead to your destruction. You've basically signed over, because you're not going to want to lose your riches. You're not going to want to lose your money. And that temptation is going to be so great, that you're going to give in, because you want to keep your status and your carefree lifestyle. And you'll do anything for that, right? Instead of putting your trust in Yahawashi, right? And the scriptures clearly tell us, let's get this. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, and verse number 4. It says, "Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death," right? Your money is not gonna save you, right? You think that because now to keep your money, you take the C hip, and you think you're gonna be good now. No, that's gonna lead to your destruction, right? It's not gonna profit you, because once you've done that, you basically chose what side that you want to be on, right? You chose not to serve Yahawah Shimon Shai. You chose your master, right? And like the scriptures say, you cannot have two masters. You cannot serve the Most High or Mammon. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon, right? Which is money. You have to choose, you know? Um, let's get this. I got one more, right? But it says, but righteousness delivereth from death, right? And let's get that, right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse number 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? Who is this? This is the righteous. This is the righteous, right? Or the elect, because the elect, they're not going to take this. The elect, right? They're going to go, right? And some of them are going to be put to death because they refuse to take this, right? They're not going to compromise. They're going to choose the side of Yahawashi rather than mammon or money, right? The riches, the fame, we don't want that, right? We want righteousness and salvation, right? But it says, Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, right? So those who have kept the patience and have kept the faith of Yahawashi, and he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation, right? It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, right? And we know that money brings about temptation because you're not going to want to lose that money, and you're going to do anything to try to keep that money, even if it's getting, that mark in your hand or on your forehead, right? So that you can keep your money, which is going to be utter destruction, But the righteous, they're not going to fold, even unto death, even through beheading. They're going to stay faithful, right? And shall receive a crown. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, right? So it's going to be a choice, right? And we know that it's coming soon, right? And we're out here to warn our people, man, right? Don't be deceived by riches. Don't be deceived by this world, man. Don't be deceived by the cares of this world, because the riches and fame, they're not going to profit in the day of the Lord, So hopefully this lesson was edifying, right? I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Kahala Yahawah, Bahasham Mashiach Yahawashi, Bahasham Rawchaa Qadash. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Almighty Shalom to the hopeful elect. Stay strong, stay faithful, keep enduring, keep the patience in these last days. Pray and pray for one another, right? And with that, Shalom.